There's no part of me.
Should celebrities be banned from gambling adverts? 020 7862 2222. And we're asking this because the Advertising Standards Authority has banned Betway from running an advert featuring Lewis Hamilton because they say he's likely to strongly appeal to under 18s. Let's have a look. It's not a very dramatic advert, in fairness. That's all that happens. I don't know if I can see the text on top of that. What does it say, the text? Is the text relevant? It just basically says, you know, who's the best of the Brits, and then above that. And then there's a kind of Ukrainian singer appears. Here's the text. It's the British GP Grand Prix this weekend, and there's more than one local hero vying for top spot at Silverstone. Will Hamilton maintain his home track dominance, or can the new gen achieve legendary status? So the text is inert. Let's look at the ad again, just so as to avoid confusion here. It's just that, and you see, well, we can't see because we've got the strap on there, but you can see the figure at the bottom is Lewis Hamilton with a shirt on with his name. I don't know, I can't see the problem. Betway says the way he's presented limits his appeal. You could say that again. And they put settings on the advert so it would be targeted at people over 25. There are rules, though, on the use of celebrities in gambling adverts. Since 2022, the use of celebrities, footballers and influencers with a strong appeal to young people, like Ronaldo, have been banned from gambling ads. And that's what they've fallen foul of. And I can see the logic that any appearance by Lewis Hamilton makes gambling more appealing.
It does, and the fact that they've got his name written across the back of the thing, it's on a racetrack, he's maybe bobbing up and down and he may be looking towards the back. It doesn't matter. The fact is, I absolutely agree with the fact that it's banned, because I absolutely do. In areas like mine and across the country where gambling has become a major issue, where people are getting themselves into debt, celebrities do make it seem okay. And it isn't okay. There are problems with, and especially online gambling, that you can access quite easily.
What do you think, Geoff?
I think we are in danger of getting a little bit puritanical about this. I mean, the gambling industry got hit in the budget. You know, there are certain things that they need to do to be responsible. From what I can see, that advert is saying there's a sporting event, these are some of the principal people that would be involved in it. And I think that's a reasonable way for a gambling company that take bets on sporting events to operate. I also find it a little bit odd that this subjective idea of how do you determine whether somebody has particular appeal to younger people. I believe that Lewis Hamilton, of his roughly 40 million Instagram followers, only about 1.9 are under the age of 18. I think that
1.9 people or 1.9 million?
1.9 million people.
Oh, okay, right, so I thought you meant 1.9 people. I thought that's
I have no idea how that would look.
But don't you still think that's a lot of people? You only need a few of them to pass it on to their podcasts and channels.
Well, do you think I wonder whether part of the deal is he says, give me the money, I'll stand with my back to the camera to get round the rules, and I'll then put it on my account.
Yeah.
And if he passes it to his 40 million, then it does start to...
But since October of 2022, you cannot have gambling adverts that go to people under a certain age. So I think we should look at actually how effective social media are in limiting the traffic of those adverts for alcohol and gambling. I think it's just a worry for me that we're inhibiting industry, and we're also applying highly subjective definitions.
I agree with you on a lot of things, but not this one. Gambling is insidious. It's something that legal. At the moment it may be legal, but so many people. Do you think it should be illegal? If I had my way, yes.
Right.
I feel that strongly about it, because so many people in areas like mine are developing mental health issues. They get money and they spend it straight on gambling. And when you've got celebrities endorsing it, it's a major problem. No matter that they've got their back to the camera, I don't want to see celebrities' names. And he's a well-known name, whether you're under 18 or not. If you talk about the racing track world, it's him they're talking about.
I just find it a little bit odd. It's a subjective judgment. Who sits down and decides which celebrities cannot be associated with a young audience and which can't? Because something like Bradley Walsh, for example, I've worked in TV and written for a few entertainment shows, tests incredibly well with young people. You know, he cuts across the age groups. It just seems that I'm a bit unclear on how they decide which celebrities. YouTubers may be a little bit more clear-cut, but with athletes, I'm struggling to see how they can determine that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you'd sort of be in the Taylor Swift zone a bit, wouldn't you? Or maybe someone younger than that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've been a Silverstone, but
Charlie
the fan
XCX.
base is not like loads of teenagers,
No,
but
it's not.
blokes of a
I
certain
just
age.
think that Lewis Hamilton has got an appeal across the board that people do not seem to understand.
Not. It's not a lifestyle thing. It's not like he's sitting there and he's on his phone putting on a bet and he's associating himself with gambling.
But it's associated with the gambling company. He's in his place of work, which is on the racetrack. He's got one of those bumper suit things on and his big name printed across the back of it. What else is he supposed to do? Put the bet on himself?
I don't think
we'll have just one more look at this, Eva. It's sort of, it's worse than our graphics, I think, this thing. Let's have a look. It's literally 2 pictures and he's bobbing up and down. It's not even AI, that. Oh, it's 3 pictures. It's strange, isn't it, that I see. So it's almost that they're on the podium and they're switching positions. I get it. Sorry.
You can't get around the fact that he is competing in that race.
Well, he's fast and attractive, yeah. Hazel in Essex, hi. Hey, Hazel.
Hello, Jeremy. I feel very strongly that all television adverts with regard to gambling should be banned. I think
they probably are. I think we're talking here about social media ones. So you mean taking off all screens? Yeah.
Yeah. The only exception I would make is for charities, for lotteries. But other than that, I think all gambling should.
Yeah, no. You mentioned that. Now I'm thinking I've seen Paddy Power and stuff on TV, and
I think they have to appear after the watershed. I'm sure, Paul.
Yeah, so you're right. They do appear. There are restrictions, but they do. Some of them are quite witty. I'm a non-gambler, but I quite enjoy the Paddy Power ones. They're quite funny. But you don't think that you agree with Paulette, do you, Hazel? It's just too dangerous.
I think it's dangerous. I think people's lives are ruined when they become addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
People's lives could be ruined by a lot of things. I'd rather have strong... We seem to have given up on educating people. When I was a kid, there used to be government campaigns that tried to actually inculcate better behaviours in people, but now we just try and put it out of view, ban it, get rid of it.
That is an argument for making heroin legal and just telling people not to take too much of it.
Gambling, the vast majority of people that do put on a bet will put on an accumulator at the weekend at quite a low level, but we should absolutely assist people with problem gambling. But I think it's a bit draconian.
Geoff, there are people with addictive personalities, and when you've got a husband or a wife who've got their bills to pay, and what they're doing is going online and spending that money on a bet, because
by that logic, we shouldn't be able to advertise alcohol either.
But at the end of the day, gambling, people do not see it as a problem. It's a major issue.
Yeah.
There are people out there with mental health issues. There are people out there, they earn the money, they spend it just as fast. They're in debt. Look at how many footballers have earned millions of pounds and lost it all through gambling because of wasted time.
I mean, I as I said, I don't have personal experience, but there was a guy who did a bit of work on my house, and it turned out he had a gambling problem, and he called me. Goes back about 10 years, so it's not revealing anything here. But he called me in such a state because he and his wife had a baby, and he'd gambled all the money that he was supposed to spend buying nappies for the baby. Yeah.
I mean, no one's denying that. It's
I just thought that's a sign of the level of the addiction. He can't even put his baby in front of it.
I think the danger with gambling is how much of an impact you can have in your life in a short space of time. So you can take a few grand, put it all on a horse and lose it. So when you legislate in and around that, that's a separate issue. I think this just seems a bit draconian. There is a racing event. Lewis Hamilton is a part of it. Then reminding people that might want to put a bet on it of that simple fact seems a bit draconian.
All right.
But my argument is, Lewis Hamilton is a celebrity. End of story. He shouldn't be doing anything to do with gambling.
But celebrities can't do alcohol adverts
Well,
either,
they've said the law has been passed. Celebrities are not allowed to be seen in gambling ads.
Okay. Thank you, Hazel. Anne, hello, in London.
Hello. Hello,
how are you, Anne?
I'm a bit irate about this gambling. Gambling ruins so many lives. A gambler the next bet is always going to be the winner, and they always break even.
Have you had a gambler in your life?
I have, and it's not pleasant. And for a celebrity like Lewis Hamilton, who's must be worth more money than God, and he's advertising that. I mean, do they realise how much misery that gambling
Yeah,
costs?
I don't. Do you know what? I'm a bit blind to this. I haven't really seen it, as I say, in my own life, except for that one call with the bloke. Tell me what happened to you.
No, that's private. I don't wish to say that. I'm just telling you that I know that gambling ruins lives.
I hear you.
And it causes an awful lot of trouble, and it takes money away from your dreams. You can save, and then suddenly you've got to pay for somebody's gambling debts. No.
I mean, I have total sympathy for Anne's situation, whatever it is. But, the question was ban all celebrities from gambling adverts. I think we're talking about two separate issues here. Is gambling a good thing? Is it a force for evil? Do we need to address that more forcefully? But given the fact it is legal, what scope do the ASA have to determine something like this? I think they might have overstepped the mark on this occasion.
Because, Anne, once you start to properly extrude gambling from life, you do have to look at Bond films, for example, where, Connery sits, he's smoking as well, so he sits at the roulette wheel and says, "This is Bond, James Bond," like that, and it does make the whole thing seem attractive. It makes me want to go into a casino.
Precisely.
So you take that out as well. Yeah.
You've got a limit, because you're not a gambler. You are not a gambler.
Yeah.
You're just having a game. But if you're a gambler, I've got to have the next bit. I've got to go to the next bit. I know next time I'm going to win.
Yeah.
So
Listen, I tell you what, I would definitely have a gambling personality. That's why I've always stayed clear of it. I definitely would be that person who got addicted. Thank you, Anne, so much. And sorry to probe or pry. Tracy Ann on Facebook says celebrities shouldn't be banned from appearing in the ads. If people want to gamble, it's their money, their business. Well, they might have a spouse.
I've seen people lose their houses.
Yeah.
This one gentleman, his wife was in the house, and to cut a long story short, the bailiff came, the house was repossessed. She didn't even know what was going on.
Terrible.
And he'd gambled the money away.
Terrible. And probably has loads of excuses as well. Adrian on Facebook says, just ban all gambling ads and this will solve the problem. It might just reduce the amount of young people drawn to a life of addiction. There was the online casinos and stuff they started in the States. I noticed the States cracked down. Did you notice that?
Yes.
They actually made it illegal.
It's a big problem out there.
Yeah, I think setting limits on what people can withdraw and how long from when you set up an account.
I don't think that it's like drinking when you become an alcoholic. It's always one drink more, because you start off, you're able to have 2, then you tolerate 3, then 4, and gambling is even worse.
But I just guess it comes down to...
Here's a question, I'll leave you thinking about this. I met someone who's graduating with one of my daughters who plays online poker, is really good at it, right? He's not got a problem, addiction or anything. I said, can I sponsor you to gamble my money with online poker, and we split the winnings? And my daughter said, that is immoral.
That is immoral, but I'd like to get in on that.
I'll just leave you think, is that immoral? He didn't have a gambling problem, and he wouldn't be losing anyone's money but mine. I think it's fine. But my daughter overruled it. We found the track list.
I'm with your daughter.
Yeah, okay. I might go back to him and ask again, though. We found the track list for the Beatles' Christmas album. You'll love this. The Beatles' Christmas record, another Beatles' Christmas record, the Beatles' third Christmas record. Those are just kind of the names of the songs. The Beatles' Christmas record. It doesn't have the 4th, 5th or 6th Christmas records, but the Beatles' 7th Christmas record is on side 2. So they were just at this stage, I think, kind of just putting stuff out for the sake of it. Later, it's the papers and everything else. Find out why Trump says he doesn't want people from Somalia in the US. He's made some really extraordinary comments, even by his standards. After the break, we're asking whether Yorkshire puddings have any place on our Christmas dinner plates, given that they take up a lot of space. 0207. That's the serious story today. 0207 862 2222.